Hello, everyone, and welcome back to Growth from Within, where personal growth meets real life. I'm Luis, and if you joined me in the last video, you know we talked about something called masturbation. Those rigid musts, shoulds, ought tos, and have tos that often multiply our misery. And we also talked briefly about one of its most powerful antidotes, which is one of the cornerstones of rational emotive behavior therapy, something we like to call unconditional self acceptance. Well, today I'd like to take that conversation one step further. Again, this principle comes straight from Dr. Albert Ellis, the founder of REBT, which heavily influenced cognitive behavioral therapy as a whole. And let me tell you, practicing USA can completely transform how you view yourself, your mistakes, and your overall potential. So, if that sounds interesting, let's dive in. Again, what is unconditional self acceptance? Well, USA means to fully accept yourself as a worthwhile human being simply because you exist here and now. However, most of us don't live that way. Instead, we may evaluate ourselves based on certain conditions, such as success or failure, approval or rejection, or whether we're attractive enough, intelligent enough, or whether we achieved enough. You name it. The problem with that, though, is these conditions are unstable. We may succeed sometimes and fail other times. People might like us one day and criticize us the next. So if your worth rises and falls with these conditions, then unfortunately we're gonna be stuck in an emotional roller coaster for an indefinite amount of time. USA, on the other hand, offers a healthier perspective, that being that your worth is not conditional. You are valuable simply because you exist. It doesn't mean that we deny our past mistakes or that we pretend that our flaws don't exist. Instead, it's about separating your worth from your behavior. For example, that choice wasn't great does not equal I'm a terrible person. Or I succeeded at that task does not mean I'm superior than others. Clinically, this matters because A, people who practice USA are less prone to depression, anxiety, and overall shame. B, they bounce back faster from setbacks since their identity isn't on trial every time they make a mistake. And C, they take healthier risks in life because failure does not equal worthlessness. Now, a lot of people confuse USA with self esteem. So let's break down each other a little bit further. Self esteem, first and foremost, is conditional and it is based on judgments about how well you're doing compared to others or to your own standards. In other words, it feels good when you're winning, but you feel bummed out when you stumble. On the other hand, self acceptance is unconditional. So your worth remains constant no matter what happens. Think about it like this: self esteem is like a stock market price, up today, down tomorrow. Self acceptance, on the other hand, is like intrinsic value, it doesn't change with market swings. Now, in an effort to be more personal, there have been times in my life where I let rejection, ridicule, or mistakes completely determine my worth. People criticize me for, things that I couldn't control, like my skin color, my height, or my overall appearance, and things I could control as well, like errors I made in school, work, or relationships. Back then, though, I measured my entire self worth through those experiences. I tell myself things such as, this shouldn't be happening, or I must do better, or else I'm nothing. And unsurprisingly, I suffered deeply. But once I began practicing USA, everything shifted. My worth no longer rose or fell based on people's opinions or my overall performance. I began to see my worth as constant because I exist here and in the now, and no one can take that away from me. And the same goes for you. No matter what mistakes you made or what qualities you dislike, your value is untouchable. You and I may behave in less than ideal ways, but we're still deserving of care, love, respect, and compassion. Now, why does USA matter? Well, from a clinical perspective, failing to practice USA often leads to global self-downing. In other words, labeling your whole self as worthless, stupid, or unlovable. Research in psychology shows this thinking style fuels depression, social anxiety, and perfectionism. Indeed, USA interrupts this by reframing the following. Instead of global labels, we focus on specific behaviors. Instead of moral condemnation, we use behavioral feedback. Instead of shame, we foster self-compassion. Indeed, therapists often use exercises like the following to achieve this. A. Evidence testing. Where's the proof I'm worthless as a whole person? B. Behavioral reframing. I failed at this task, but that doesn't define me. C. Humanizing universality. All humans fail. Failure proves I'm a human, not worthless. This shift from conditional worth to unconditional acceptance can drastically reduce shame-based suffering. So, here are 5 practical steps we can take to practice USA every day. Number 1, catch the negative self-talk. When you think, I'm worthless, pause and ask yourself, am I rating my behavior or my whole self? Number 2, adopt the following mantra. I am imperfect and that's okay. Imperfection equals humanity. Number 3, separate worth from performance. For example, say something like, that exam grade was low. I may need to study differently to get a higher grade, instead of reflexively saying, I must be dumb. And number 4, practice self-compassion. Seriously, research shows self-compassion lowers stress and builds resilience. Talk to yourself as you would talk to a close friend. Seriously, try it out. And number 5, remember universality. Every human makes mistakes. Fallibility was programmed within us. You're not, you're not uniquely flawed. You're part of the human story. Indeed, there's a world of difference between self-esteem and USA. Self-esteem mode on one hand says, I bombed that presentation, therefore I'm incompetent. And USA mode says, that presentation didn't go well. I need more practice, but that doesn't define me. I'm still a worthwhile person. Now, here's the bigger picture. Extending USA is powerful on its own, but it also sets the stage for 2 more practices we'll explore in future videos. Number 1, unconditional other acceptance, or UOA for short. Briefly, what this means is it is accepting that others are fallible humans too, without excusing harmful behavior. And number 2, unconditional life acceptance, or ULA for short. This is accepting that life is not always fair or predictable, but we can still live meaningfully within it. Together, these 3 create resilience, not just within yourself, but also in how you relate to others in the world. Now, here's my challenge for you this week. Every time you catch yourself putting a label on your whole self, like I'm a failure or I'm not good enough, pause, take a breath, and reframe it. Tell yourself, I made a mistake, but that doesn't define me. I'm still a valuable, imperfect human being. And to make this practical, here are some reflection prompts you can use daily. Number 1, spot the self-label. What harsh label did I give myself today? Number 2, reframe it. How can I restate this as a behavior instead of my whole self? Number 3, practice compassion. You can say something like, if my best friend made this mistake, what would I say to them? Can I say that to myself as well? Number 4, notice universality. Ask yourself, who else might have made a similar mistake? What does that show me again about being human? And number 5, anchor in worth. Say something like, even if I never improved this one area of my life, would I still have worth as a person? If so, why? Seriously, try writing your answers down. Over time, this retrains your brain to see mistakes as opportunities, not verdicts on your own identity. And as always, I want this channel to be interactive. So please leave your questions and comments below. What challenges do you face with self-acceptance? As well as what topics should I unpack in future videos? Seriously, uh, any questions are welcome and any comments are welcome as well. I love to hear from you. Really, truly. Now, before we close, I want to acknowledge something very important again. September is National Suicide Prevention Month. So, if you're struggling with thoughts of hopelessness, shame, or self worth, please know you're not alone and that help is available. In the US, you can dial 988 to connect with the Suicide and Crisis Lifeline 24/7. Wherever you are, reach out to trusted loved ones, friends, or professionals. Your life matters. Your worth is not up for debate. You are valuable simply because you exist, and I am truly grateful that you're here with me today. Thank you for watching, and remember, growth is a journey, not a race, and we're in it together. I'll see you in the next one.